Rishijiputram atra swarupam rupam tasya kracham vipurim maturim goshtuatim Radha kundam agirivaram ho radhika madhavasam prapto yasya pratita kripaya shri guru tam manatosmi Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tat Bhaktaya Namo Nama Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya Hemabhadyabhyacchavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahapremarasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Chiltastu Kamari Torang Pamati Kripa Mahitam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Govinda Namo Govinda Namo Taramadaveti Govinda Namo Everyone, Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Govinda Damodara Madhaveki Shama Sundar Skanda Shekhar Smaraha Smurali Manada Radhikar Skamama Kripanidhe Supriyucharna King Kurim Kuru Tavaivasmi, Nachivami Toyabana Iti Vikyayo Devitam Nayamam Charantikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadiya Paramaradhatama Guru Pada Padma, Nitya Lila Pravisht Om Vishnupad, Ashtotara Satasri Rupanuga Charivarya, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev to Srila Prabhupada and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga. And finally, I offer my pranam to all my dear spiritual brothers and sisters, all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Vanchakalpatarvasa Kripas and the Putinam Pavani Vaishnavitur. Srila Gurudeva ki Jai. By the causeless mercy of Sri Gurant Gauranga, we have assembled to hear about the unlimited, eternal, sweet glories of Sisi, Radha and Krishna. See, Krishna himself, he said, Shokoli jagati more kare vidhi bhakti brajabhava paite nahi shakti. In this world, all the people, they're engaged, those who are engaged in bhakti, they are engaged in bhakti according to vidhi, the rules and regulations of the scripture. Why? Because they don't feel the spontaneous taste for the loving moods of the residents of Vrindavan. Raga anavaptatvat, yatra raga anavaptatvat, praviti upajayate, shasanevaiva shastrasya, sa vaidhi bhakti uchate. The definition of vaidhi bhakti is when a person does not have ruchi, taste, in the spontaneous, ecstatic love of the residents of Vrindavan. At that time, their impetus, their incentive, that which motivates them to engage in hearing, chanting, and remembering, is the discipline described in the Shastra. The scriptures say, you are not this body, you are the soul. And the soul is an eternal part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Mamaivankso jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana. And therefore, being the part of the Supreme Lord, it's your duty to serve Krishna. And if you don't, what will happen? Krishna buli se jivanadir bahimuk atev mayatari de sangsara duk. If you forget Krishna, if you're turned away from Krishna, then Maya Devi, the material energy, will inflict upon you extreme suffering in the endless cycle of sansar. So being afraid of material existence and considering the order of Shastra to be one's duty, the living entities, they engage in hearing, chanting, and remembering. So this is Vidhi Bhakti. But Krishna is saying, Vidhi Bhakti Brajabhav Paiti Nahi Shakti. Just by following the rules and regulations of devotional service, it does not have the Shakti, the power, to awaken the ecstatic moods of Braja. Those moods can only be awakened by Raganuga Bhakti. By Raganuga Bhakti. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati Kritam Yadi Kutopi Labhyate Tatra Lolyam Api Mulame Kalam Koti Janma Sukritar Nalabhyate. See, Ramananda Rai, he was conversing with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he said that if you want Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati, Mati means your consciousness, to be Bhavita. Do you know what the Bhavita means? In Ayurveda, if the doctor, he wants to make some strong medicine, then he'll get some amla and then dry the amla and make the amla powder. It's quite strong. It has a lot of vitamin C, but it's not maximum strength. To make it maximum strength, then he will do what is called the bhavana or swabhavana. He will soak the amla powder in the amla juice and leaving it soaking in the amla juice until it dries again. Now that is called swabhavana. And now this medicine is stronger, but not maximum strength. To get maximum strength, he'll then again take that and soak it again in the juice, the amla juice, and that is called bahu swabhavana. And when he does it again and again, until that medicine comes to the maximum intensity and power, then that is called bhavita. That is called bhavita. Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavitavi. So Srimati Radhika and Krishna, they are absorbed in the rasas of love to the maximum strength, to the maximum degree. And so are their associates. So those associates, they have the Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati. Their absorption in the nectar of Vraja Lila is so dense that nothing can penetrate it, nothing can enter into it. They love Krishna as some love him as their friend, some love him as like their son, Some love him as their sweetheart. And even if Krishna will lift a mountain on his little finger for 7 days and nights, which is impossible for an ordinary person to do, even that type of Aishwarya, their love for him is so dense, it cannot penetrate. They cannot even question, oh, is he God? That's called Anusandan abhav. There's the absence of investigation into how he did it. They just love him as their friend or their son or their sweetheart. What kind of love is this? This love is Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati. So Kritam Yadi Kutopi Labhute. If this love is available anywhere, then you must purchase it without any delay. Someone may say, is it for sale? Interesting here, Ramananda Rai is saying Kutopi means anywhere, wherever it is. It cannot be limited to any group or any institution or any society. Wherever that nectar is available, run there. Janana Maranadi Sangsa Anala Santapta Dipta Shirsha Jalarashimiva. Where there is a sadhu who has that nectar of Braja Rasa, then you should run there. How? Santapta Dipta Shirsha Jalarashimina. Just like a person whose hair is on fire doesn't sit around relaxing. What does he do? He runs to the river at once and jumps in. It's an emergency. So in the same way, if this type of sadhu sangha, if this type of bhakti rasa is available anywhere, Shastra said, you should run there at once with the urgency of a man whose hair is on fire. Are you feeling the urgency? So if this is available anywhere, one must go there. And what is the price? Tatralolyam apimula. The price is only greed. Lolya, greed. Koti janma sukritarna labhyate. And that greed, it will not come from koti janma sukriti. Here the word sukriti actually means engagement in the angas of Vaidhi Bhakti. It is not the Karmanmukhi Sukriti. This is the Bhakti-mukhi Sukriti. Engagement in the angas of Vaidhi Bhakti, koti, for 10 million lifetimes. It will not generate that greed. So what is greed? It's important to understand the definition. Nowadays, our deep shastras written by our Goswamis, they're very neglected. So there's a lot of confusion about the Siddhanta and these terms. So what is greed? Sometimes people think greed means being really interested in the subject. Sometimes people think greed means an infatuation or an obsession with, I want to find out how to serve Krishna in Vrindavan. Oh, that may be a rudimentary beginning. But actually, what is the greed, the taste, the mature taste, which makes one qualified to enter into Raga Nuga Bhakti? Srila Jiva Goswami Pad describes in Bhakti Sandarbha, when there is a Shuddha Vaishnava, a pure sadhu, who is absorbed in the service of Radha and Krishna, then when they speak the sweet Harikatha, then as you are listening, then see Krishna and Radhika and their associates, they begin to appear in the heart. In that heart that has been purified by chanting the holy name, that heart that has undergone the process, Chaito Darpana Marjanam, the mirror of the heart has become cleansed. Do you know what Shravan is? Shravan we say hearing. But the way that the ordinary person uses language, the word hearing, and the way the sadhu uses the word language, the word hearing, is not the same. The sadhu bhasha and the bhasha of the ordinary person, lokik bhasha, is not the same, even though the word appears to be the same. For the common person, the word hearing is like, oh, you can hear the traffic outside. Or your phone rings and you hear your phone ringing. But in sadhu bhasha, Sravana means pratamam namna Sravana antakarana shuddhyate apeksham shuddhech antakarane rupa Shravanena tad udoy yogyata bhavati. Jiva Goswami Pad is describing the exact definition of the practice and the experience of Shravan. He said, Pratamam namna Sravanam. In the beginning, hearing, antakarana shuddhyatam apeksham. It depends on the purity of the antakaran. Antakaran means your chitta. You know, you have manas, buddhi, ahankar, and chitta. So is that chitta clean? If the chitta is not clean, we cannot really hear the holy name. Atashi Krishna nabadi na bhavat grahemindriye. The senses cannot experience Sri Krishna's transcendental name, form, qualities, and pastimes. But when one chants without offense, then Chaito Darpana Marjana goes on. The chitta starts to become clean. And when the chitta has become cleansed and one comes to Nishta, that is the Ekagrata chitta, one-pointed concentration, then at that time, when a sadhu speaks Harikatha, hearing the name and the form of Krishna, there is a spurti. It appears reflected in the clean chitta. So when we hear about Sri Krishna's name and form, and simultaneously as one is hearing, there is a spurti, a vision of a beauty of Sri Krishna in the heart, that is actually called Sravanam. That is Sravanam. This is why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, from the beginning, Ado Sraddha Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya Anati Nivriti, up to Nishta, actually this is not Bhakti Tattva, this is Shraddha Tattva. It's the development of faith, from soft faith to firm faith. And then when the faith is firm and the surrender is full, then the actual experience of bhakti begins. And Sravanam means darshan. Hearing means seeing in the heart. Chanting means seeing in the heart. Remembering means seeing in the heart. So at first, anyway, Vaishnavas are very kind. They just don't, just chant and be happy, like this. So the Kanishta Adhikari begins to chant. But after some time, one has to investigate. What is the real meaning of these angas of bhakti? Hearing, chanting, and remembering. Before they awaken properly, then one engages just in archan. Archayam evaharaye pujam ya sradayate na tat bhakteshu chanyeshu sa bhakta prakrita smritaha. Krishna gives the definition of the prakrita bhakta, the Kanishta Adhikari, who is in the preliminary stage, the rudimentary stage of devotion. Then it's characterized by what? Archayam evaharaye. The devotee has a shraddha, faith, in serving the deity. Has faith. He believes my guru is a great acharya, he is associate of Krishna, and he has given me mantra, and by these mantras I am serving the deity. Natat bhakteshu chanyeshu. But he has not developed his faith in the bhakta. Here, Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he said, here the word bhakta means the eternal associates of Radha and Krishna. Because he has not come to the stage of ruchi. You see, in the stage of nishta, Krishna's form appears. In the stage of ruchi, Krishna's qualities and associates appear in the heart. And when one has this purti, one sees the associates of Sri Krishna in the heart. Now, he has faith in them and he wants to follow them internally. But before they appear, na tad bhakteshu chanyeshu, one doesn't have actual faith in those associates. You understand? This is a deep meaning of the verse. So, Srila Jiva Goswami in Bhakti Sandarbha, he said, when the anarthas have cleared up to the point of nishta, then the heart becomes like a spatik mani. Spatik mani means a crystal. And when the pure devotee speaks and describes the pastimes of Krishna, then the devotee who is listening sees Sri Krishna in the heart and sees the associates. Now those associates, they have such a love, it's beautiful. And just as the moon has chandrikas, rays coming from the moon, so the chandrika, the rays coming from the hearts of those associates of Krishna, they reflect in the spatik mani, in the crystal of the heart of the devotee who is listening. And when his heart begins to glow with joy, receiving the rays of love coming from those associates, and that glowing heart is the incentive, not the rules and regulations of the Shastra, not duty, not fear of material existence, but when this glowing joy in the heart, which is coming from the associates, is impelling him to engage in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, and all the angas of bhakti. And when seeing how they're lovingly serving Radha and Krishna, he has a taste in their methods of service. You see? Because the way the residents of Vrindavan serve Krishna is quite different to what we can imagine in this world, and different from the way he is served in Vaikunta or in Dwarka or Mathura. The methods of service in Vraja are so crooked. In Braj, the associates of Krishna, they don't bow down and give respect to him. They tease him. Sometimes they ignore him. Sometimes they criticize him. That's the nature of loving Braj. Stotram yatra tatastatam prakatayats chittasya date bhatam nindapi pramatam prayachati parihasasriyam bibrati doshena sayetam gunen gurutam kenapinatan vati premna swara sikasya katyachidayam vikridati prakriya. Madhu Mangal, he asked his grandmother Purnamasi, because Radha and Krishna were just falling in love with each other. He said, "Oh, what is this love like?" Purnamasi Devi said, "Stotram yatra tatastatam." When the lovers meet, they don't glorify each other. Because if they were to say, "Oh, hello, you look very beautiful today. I like your dress." If they were to speak to each other in a very reverential way, like this, then the other person will feel pain. Chittasya date bhyatam. They'll feel pain in the heart. Why will they feel pain? Because if you meet someone on the street, you don't know them. You say, "Excuse me, sir, what time is it?" You speak very politely because you don't know them. You're neutral, tatasta. You're neutral with them. But when there's love, then the heart is full of the kautuk. One becomes kautuki, very curious, and sing. Oh, if I tease in this way, if I joke in this way, what will the person say? So instead, if they'll be very polite to each other, then they'll both feel like, what happened? Why is she being tatasta, being so neutral with me? But nindapi pramatam prayachati parihasasriyam bibyati. If they'll come and they'll criticize each other, then they'll be very happy. The criticism becomes a source of joy because they know, oh, he's teasing and joking with me out of love. You cannot do that with a person that you don't know. They'll take offense. But with those with whom you are very intimate, then this is the ragatmik paripati, teasing. If Krishna will come to Radharani, Radharani will say, "Oh, stay away from me. You are Vakrashra. You are like Vakrashra. You know Vakrashra, Lord Shiva, means the Lord of crookedness. You are like Vakrashra, the Lord of crookedness. Because you are crooked in 3 places. Do you know how Krishna is crooked in 3 places? No. Radharani says, you're crooked in 3 places. Crooked in the past, crooked in the present, crooked in the future. Always crooked, Krishna. So be away from me. Then Krishna will criticize Radharani. Oh, if I am Vakrashra, then you are Astavakra Rishi. Why? Because Vakrashra, you said I am crooked in 3 places, then you're crooked in 8 places. Vachi, Bruvo, Dristi, Kache, Avaganane, Hridayam cha. Krishna will say, you are crooked, your words are crooked, the way you speak. Vachi, the way you speak is crooked. Bruvo, your eyebrows are crooked. Kache, your hair is crooked. That means you have very beautiful curling hair. Though it seems like criticism, everything is actually describing how beautiful she is. The eyebrows are crooked. The hair is crooked. So the voice, the hair, the eyebrows, drishti, your glance. Radharani never looks straight. She looks away from Krishna. Like this. Your glance is crooked. The way you walk is crooked. Radharani is Gajagamini. She has very Nitambini. She has very big hips. So her walking is like an elephant. If you see an elephant from behind when they're walking, they take a step and the whole body swings this way. Then they take another step and the whole body swings that way. Like that. So Radharani walks like this Gajagamini. So beautiful. The way you walk is crooked. Your veil is crooked. Because she covers her face and then pulls it back a little bit to be but Krishna. You've seen the painting of Seva Kunj, Radharani is looking away but pulling the veil this way. So your veil is crooked. And most of all, your heart is crooked. Because you behave one way, but your feeling is something else. This is avahita bhav, because it's the nature of rasa. Rasa is not expressed directly and openly. Rasa is hidden. Sri Vallabhacharya in his Subhadini Tika, he says, Raso gupta eva rasatvama padyate. Rasa is always hidden. And when rasa is hidden, it becomes more delicious. So Radharani always hides a feeling and shows something else. But Krishna is rasik, so he can relish that love. So how clever is Sri Krishna? He said, if I am Vakrashra, crooked in 3 places, you are Astabhakra. You are crooked in 8 places. What does it mean? Krishna is a kavi, he's the best poet. So he does not say what he means. He says one thing, and what he means is in the dhwani, it's in the suggestion. And Radhika can feel it. Radhika can feel. He's saying, Krishna is saying by poetry and suggestion, if I am crooked in 3 places and you are crooked in 8 places, that means you have defeated me. Na parayam niravadya samyuja, I cannot repay you. If the way that you walk is crooked, your eyebrows on your head, that means you are so beautiful. In Braj, if you criticize the other person, the subtitle or the translation is, I love you. In Braj, you don't say I love you, you criticize. But this criticism means I love you. Just like in this world, no one likes smoke. They don't like smoke. But if you mix the smoke with the agabati, now it becomes fragrant and, incense, very nice. You see? So in the same way, no one likes to be insulted. But if the insult is mixed with love, then it's very fragrant and beautiful. So this is the way of love in Vrindavan. This is ragatmik paripati. The ordinary persons whose hearts are like stone and very formal robots, they cannot understand this sweet nectar of Vrindavan. So Purnamasi Devi is saying, Ninda pi pramadam prayachati parihasasrayam bibrati. Oh, in this love, the true intention is hidden, and there is lots of insults going backwards and forwards, and both are relishing so much. Beautiful. So, doshena shaitam gunen gurutam kenapyana tanvati. Where this love is present, then it's different from this world. In this world, a person feels like, oh, I love you. And if they see a good quality in their beloved, when they see their good qualities, then their love increases. And if they see a fault, a bad quality, then the love decreases. Why? Because this is not love. This is transactional. I love you, but read the small print, the terms and conditions of this contract. Don't forget to read the terms and conditions before you tick the box and accept this relationship. So this is not love. But in Vrindavan, doshena kshaitam, if Radhika will see a fault in Krishna, her love does not go down. If she'll see a quality in Krishna, her love does not go up. Because her love is not dependent on anything. Vikridati prakriya. This prem has its own life. It lives by itself. It expands by itself. It's not dependent on what the lover is doing or not doing. Aslishyava padaratam pinastu mama darshanam mama hatam karotuva yatata va vidadatu lampato mat prananatastu saivanabra. Oh Krishna, you can embrace me and make me feel like the most fortunate gopi in the whole universe. Or you can break my heart by not being present before me. You can even dance with another gopi in front of my eyes. And because you are lampat, you are a debauchee. But whatever you do, mat prananatastu saivanapara. You are my pran. You are my life, and so whatever you do, I accept it. Not because it's good or bad, but because it was done by you. And you are the object of my prayer. These things cannot be expressed directly. Not to, and she will never say it to Krishna directly, but she may cry and say this in separation. So, where were we? Yes, we were explaining the eligibility for Raganuga Bhakti when the pure Vaishnava is describing the beauty of Vrindavan. At that time, when the heart, which is like a spatik mani, a crystal that is being cleansed by chanting without offense, it becomes illuminated by the rays of the associates which are being witnessed inside. And then one has a taste in that ragatmik paripati, the way, the methods in which they love Krishna, which are so sweet and crooked. Then the bhakti which is inspired by that taste in the ragatmik paripati is called Raganuga Bhakti. You see? So actually it's a high thing, not such an easy thing that anyone can do and just take a book, teach yourself Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti for dummies. Step 1, step 2, it's not like that. It has to correspond with the internal maturity, purity and experience in the association of Rasik Vaishnavas. Therefore Rupa Goswami said, Tistan Brajay Tadanuragi Jananugami. Reside in Braja and be under the guidance of pure Rupanuga Rasik Vaishnavas. So that is the Raganuga Bhakti. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he said, Tabujani Aparada Tohite Parchu Krishna Nama Bija Tahi Nakare Ankur. It means that Nam Bij, the holy name, is like a seed. And when we chant, that seed, it does ankur, it sprouts. And the sprouting of the holy name is the appearance of Krishna's form in the heart. Shabda Archa, the sound murti of Krishna. And gradually it grows and reveals his qualities and his associates, then you can follow them. And it reveals your own swarup and your seva and lila gradually. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad saying, if this Nam Bij is not ankur, not growing in the heart, then tabi jane aparada tohite prachur, then you should know it's due to an abundance of offenses have been committed. So Krishna Nama Bija Tahi Na Kare Ankur. So the bij is not sprouting. So if you are chanting for a long time and your bij is not sprouting, the divine anubhav of the holy name is not manifesting in the heart, then it's due to the offenses. How can we overcome them? How can we become free from them? The method has been given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatatama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. There, Sutta Goswami Pad, he's saying that by serving the book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat, the two types of Bhagavat, the Grantha, Eka Bhagavata Bara Bhakti Rasa Shastra Ara Bhagavata Bhakta Bhakti Rasa Patra. One Bhagavat is the great Rasa Shastra Srimad Bhagavatam, and the other Bhagavat is the devotee who is filled with rasa, overflowing like a rasagula. If you touch anywhere, just rasa is coming out everywhere. So that type of Vaishnava, if we associate with them, if we serve them and hear and chant and remember Srimad Bhagavatam, these two together, then Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Here, Nashta Prayeshu means almost completely destroyed. Not completely destroyed, because we're just talking about coming to the stage of Nishta, where the Nam Bij will sprout. So Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. Abhadrani means the inauspicious things. Vishnu Thakur explains here the Abhadrani, that means Nam Aparad. In other words, by the Rasik Vaishnav Sangha and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees and serving them with body, mind and words, Niskapat Niswarta Vaishnav Seva, without duplicity, without selfishness, then what will happen? The effects of Nam Aparad will be eradicated. And then Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. One comes to the stage of Nishta, Ekagrata Chitta, steady Chitta. And then when we are hearing Harikatha, we can realize the form and qualities of Krishna, and then after Shravan, then Kirtan takes place. Then we can chant and also experience these things. So this is the Raganuga Bhakti. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, Vidhi marga rata jane swadinatta ratna dhane raga marga karena pravesh. The meaning is, if a devotee is very fixed and following all the principles of Vaidhi Bhakti very carefully under the guidance of a Raganuga Vaishnav, then gradually his intelligence will become free from being dependent on all the instructions of the scripture, and he'll enter into the Raganuga Bhakti, into the stage of Raganuga Bhakti. So our acharyas, our Gurudev, our Param Gurudev, our Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they are so merciful. They have given us some rules and regulations to follow in our daily life, which in the beginning is Vaidhi Bhakti. But as we mature internally, it is all these activities that are also suitable for Raganuga Bhakti. Perhaps you know, Gurudev said on some occasions, and also he told me personally, he said, when you do bhajan, it's actually archan. But when I do archan, it's actually bhajan. Gurudev said this. What does that mean? What does it mean? It's very deep. When you do bhajan, it's archan, he said, but when I do archan, it's bhajan. The reason is this, that if one is chanting, but the name is not sprouting, then his hearing, chanting and remembering is not actually the angas of Bhakti, Shravan and Kirtan Smaranam, but they are the sublimbs. They are integral parts of the practice of archan. In other words, you serve the deity and you sing for the deity and you remember the deity, all that. So a person may think, I'm doing bhajan, Hare Krishna, I'm remembering the Astakalila like this. But actually, if the spurity of the name is not coming inside, he's actually not doing bhajan. He's still doing archan, and he's hearing, chanting and remembering are the subdivisions of that aspect of bhakti called archan. So, on the other hand, if Gurudev will serve the deity, but if Gurudev is serving the deity, is he doing archan? No, because internally he is completely situated in his eternal spiritual form and serving Radha Krishna with spontaneous love, not according to vidhi. It looks like outwardly vidhi, but really he's serving impelled by bhav, by rag, by ruchi to see Radha and Krishna. So this distinction should be understood. Still, if we are in that stage before the Naam is manifesting, and in the Vaidhi Bhakti stage, our acharyas are so kind. They gave us our daily programs and services which facilitate very smooth transition into Raganuga Bhakti. So now I'm coming to my subject for today. That was the introduction. Subject is, in the afternoon, in the evening, in the Sandhya, we perform the Gora Arti. So the Gora Arti is the vision of the Navadip Mayapur Yoga Peeth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu along with his associates. And after being absorbed in that, then what happens? Gaura Prema Rasavane, Seitaranga Jeba Dube, Seirada Madhavantaranga. If you become absorbed in love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then you'll enter into the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Just like Srila Gurudev, he used to say, if you go to Navadip Dham, into the eastern side of Rudradweep, there is Nidai Ghat. And if you sink under the water of the Ganges in Nidai Ghat, when you come up, you'll be in Keshi Ghat in Vrindavan. So Nidai Ghat is where Mahaprabhu jumped in the water and swam away and he left Navadweep. So poetically, this means if you become immersed in feelings of separation from Mahaprabhu, Ha Gauranga Boledake, then what will happen? Say Radha Madhav Antaranga, automatically by the Dasya Bhav to Mahaprabhu, then you will attain the Radha Dasyam. Because Mahaprabhu is Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. So this is why we perform the Gora Arti And we become absorbed in the Navadvip Mayapur Yoga Peeth. And then when it comes to the last line of the Gora Arti, Shiva Shukanara Preme Gada Gada Bhakati Vinoda Deke Gauranga Sampada. Then what happens? Jaya Jaya Radha Krishna Jugala Milan Aroti Karai Lalita Disaki Gan. The kirtan, the absorption in Navadvip turns into the savor of Radha Krishna in Vrindavan. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's the seventh Goswami. And what he has written, nothing is speculation, nothing is like a creative writing, but rather just as Srila Vyasadeva went into Samadhi, he went into trance, and then manifested the Srimad Bhagavatam. In the same way, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his trance, he manifested these eternal kirtans. So, our subject this evening is that we are remembering this kirtan of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Jaya Jaya Radha Krishna Jugala Milan Aroti Karoy Lalita Disaki Gan. What kind of mood is in this? Amazing. Amazing. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the incarnation of Kamala Manjari. Kamala Manjari in her ecstasy is saying, Jai, Jai. Radha Krishna Juga Milan. Now, my dearmost Radha and Krishna, they are meeting. Milan. Why Jai? Why such a big celebration? Not only Jai, Jai, Jai. That means the jubilation cannot be contained. Why such a big celebration? Because for Radha and Krishna to meet together, it is actually durlabha. Durlabh. There are so many obstacles. Jutila, Kutila, Abhimanyu, Chandravali. There are so many obstacles along the way. So these obstacles, they actually increase the love. They increase the love. So first of all, we should know, who is Radha and Krishna? Radharani herself has said a very beautiful thing. Radharani said, Yat sneya pura britabhajana rajitaika vartyagra vatyamala deepa yugam chakasti tats cheta reta ratamo panudat paroksham anandayad akila pashva gada sadalihi. Radharani said, there is one deep, one lamp, you know? You have the lamp holder and it's full of the oil. So you put the oil in the lamp and then you have to get a wick. So you can take a wick and you can dip the wick in the oil and light it. But Radharani said this wick is done in a very artistic way. This wick is folded in half and dipped into the oil with two ends sticking out. And it's been lit on both sides. So, and then these two flames, they're illuminating each other and illuminating the 8 directions. So what is the example here? Here, the wick, there is one wick. Radharani says, that is, my heart and Krishna's heart are one. Radha Krishna Aichi Sada Ekahi Swarup Lila Ras Ashwadite Daridui Rup. Radharani said, my heart and Krishna's, they are one, like that wick. And we are soaked in the oil of sneha. Sneha means affection. And that we are soaked in that affection, and both ends of the wick have been lit. So when you light both ends, then 2 flames appear. These 2 flames, like teardrops of illumination, these 2 flames, Radhika said, that's my body and Krishna's body. So we have 2 bodies, but we have one heart. And we both of our bodies are just burning and soaked in the oil of love and affection. And my light is illuminating Krishna and Krishna's light is illuminating me. And our light together is illuminating 8 directions. 8 directions means Astasakis. Lalita, Vishaka, Chitra, Tampaklata, Indule, Karanga Devi, Sudevi, Tungavitya. 8 Sakis. This is not my example. This is Radharani's own example. How beautiful. Very beautiful. But this example does not stop there. Let's go a little bit deeper. Radharani said, Yadyapatet vivrahamarutat eight ata, kampam bhavet yukapadeva bhajet chamurcham, vyagrasa dalyata tadavarneyateta, tatshushta sukasadma gatam bidaya. Now consider this. If there are two flames, and they're little distance from each other, there are two flames. If the wind blows, what will happen? The flames will flicker. But when the wind blows, the two flames, they'll flicker at the same time in the same way. So Radharani said that when I am in separation from Sri Krishna, yadyapatet virahamaru tadeit ata, then the wind of separation blows. And Krishna and I, we both tremble at the same time from the wind of separation. We both become unsteady. We both faint. So, sometimes if the pujari is lighting the deep and there's some wind coming, he's panicking, right? And he's trying to get his cloth and he's trying to cover it to stop it from blowing out. He's in anxiety. So Radharani said, in the same way, when the wind of separation is blowing and Krishna and I are both trembling and overwhelmed with anxiety at the same time, then our Sakis, they want to protect us. And so the Sakis, in great anxiety, they're running around here and there and trying to bring the two of us into the sheltered place of the happiness of our meeting. And so the Sakis, that's their basic feeling at every moment. How can we bring Radha and Krishna together? So when Radha and Krishna finally come together, then what happens? Jayo Jaya Radha Krishna Jugalamila. Understand the meaning of the verse? But bringing them together is not so easy because all these obstacles are there. But don't think these obstacles, of course, from our Siddha Roop, we think the obstacles are problematic. But philosophically, you should know, they must be there in Braj Lila. They make the turbulence in the ocean of love that makes the waves, the ocean of love beautiful, becomes tarangita. So Radhika herself, she said, Loka dvayat swajanata parato swatoba prana priyad api sumer yadisyahu kleshas tadapyati bali sahaza vijitya premai vatan harirabani vapushtimeti. Radharani is saying, in my love for Sri Krishna, there are so many obstacles. These obstacles are made by the obstacles in this world and also the devatas. There are obstacles here and beyond this world to our meeting. The Vedas are an obstacle because the Vedas say you have to be the patibrata, devoted to your husband. But alas, Radhika had arranged marriage to Abhimanyu. The loka dharma, loka laja, the shyness of because of the criticism, the censure of society, and the Gurujan, all of these things. So she said, there are obstacles of this world and beyond this world. So Janata, there is obstacles caused by my own family. Parato, there are obstacles caused by the anti-party, other groups like Chandravali. Chandravali's Sakis, Padma and Shaiva are always trying to entice Krishna to go to Chandravali's Kunj. So Parato Swatoba, Radhika says, even the obstacle comes from myself. Why? Because sometimes she goes to meet Krishna, then inexplicably, she cannot even explain it. She becomes in man. She becomes all crooked with him. Aheri vagati prem nasvabhava kutila bhavet. Ato heto ahetoscha yunu manu udanchati. The movement of love is crooked like a snake. So when the loved and beloved meet, sometimes one of them or the other one will go into man, hate with a cause, or sometimes without a cause. Or sometimes it's not with a cause or not without a cause, but with a semblance of a cause. What is that? Gande kundala patmaraga mahaso bimbam pratipreyasa parakyodara raga ityaturnita panga chalam bikshatam. Snigdakshi daito rusham viditavam no veti dolayita nyanchad vaktataya vicharya cha mrishamanam dade radhika. Kavi Karnapur. He's saying in Alankar Kostuba, one day, Radha and Krishna, they met together. And Shrimati Radhika came very close to Krishna. And as she came close to Krishna, she looked and she saw on his cheek was some red lipstick. When she saw that red lipstick, at once, the Sanchari Bhava of the Amarsha, that means indignation, rose up. At once the indignation rose up. And she was about to explode. And just as she was about to explode, then Krishna, he looked at her like this, and she noticed that this lipstick on his cheek started to move from side to side. Then she said, oh, wait a minute, it's not lipstick. He's wearing rubies in his earrings, and the red light was shining. And I thought that it was lipstick. And now he moved, so the earrings are dangling, and now the red mark on his cheek is moving. So then Radhika's the Amarsha, indignation, it went down. But what came up? The Vrida, embarrassment. She became embarrassed. But another thing came up at the same time that is called Vitarka. Vitarka and the Ashanka. Ashanka is anxiety, and Vitarka means speculation. Did he notice that I was becoming angry, or did he not notice that I was becoming angry? So now Radhika is in anxiety. Did Krishna notice that I was becoming angry for like no reason really, or not? Because if he noticed, that will be really embarrassing. So the embarrassment and the anxiety and the Vitarka, 3 Sanchari Bhavas are all rising up at the same time in her heart. So now she's in a very difficult position because she's thinking, if Krishna thinks that I was getting angry just over this reflection of his earring, then he'll think I'm cuckoo. He'll think I'm so highly strung. He'll think I'm so volatile. He'll think this girlfriend is a little bit crazy. And then he may want to go to Chandravali, who's more calm and doesn't want to explode in his face at any moment for no reason. So Radhika is in anxiety about this. So then she thinks, what can I do? So then those Sanchari Bhavas go down, another Sanchari Bhav comes up. What Sanchari Bhav is that? Mati. Mati means decision. Decision. She makes a decision. Now, I don't know whether he noticed or not. But just to be on the safe side, if he did notice, let me just pretend to be angry with him over something else. And then I'll cover all my bases. Huh? That's why ladies are so complicated. Huh? All the men are going, what? And all the ladies are going, yeah. Mm-hmm. So then Radharani, she has Avahita Bhav. Avahita means hiding emotions. She anyway thinks, let me just turn away and I'll be angry with him and I'll make an excuse that I'm upset over something else. You see? So here we're discussing what? The obstacles to Radha and Krishna meeting. The obstacles may come from earthly things or heavenly things. It may come from her own family. It may come from other groups. It may come, Swata means, from herself. Right? Because the man stops them from meeting and enjoying their pastimes together. Prana Priyad, or the obstacle may come from Krishna even. Krishna may make an obstacle. Just like in the Rasa Lila. Radharani said, Naya mam yatra temana. Oh Krishna, I cannot walk any further. You carry me wherever you want. Then she looked around and he was gone. Krishna, ha nata ramana presta, kwasi mahabhuja, dasyaste kripanaya me, sakti darshaya sandhitim. And Radhika cried, oh my Raman. Oh my Raman. That's where Raman comes from. Huh? So, there are many, many obstacles coming from all directions to meeting. So finally, when all these obstacles are overcome and Radha Krishna actually come together, then what? Jaya Jaya Radha Krishna Jugala Milan. It's a big achievement. It's not an easy thing. Everyone was sweating and in so much anxiety to finally make this happen. So Jaya Jaya Radha Krishna Jugala Milan. Arati koroi lalitadi sakhigan. You know, you cannot compare your worldly experience, actually, to the meeting of Radha Krishna. If you meet someone, you may be happy to see them. But when Radhika sees Krishna, prapanna pantanam hari asakrit asman nayanayo apurvo yam puryam kwachidapina dristo madhurima pratike pyes asyas purati mu angasya sakya suyastasya patum lavamatpi samata nadagiyam. From far away, Radhika sees Krishna's coming. He's coming down the slope of Govardhan Hill. And when she sees, she turns to her Sakhi and said, "Oh Sakhi, many times in the past, Sri Krishna walked onto the path of my eyes. But now I'm seeing him, Apurva. It is as if I've never seen him before. He is so beautiful that my eyes, what to speak of being capable of drinking the entirety of his beauty, my eyes are incapable of drinking completely even the beauty of one part of one of the limbs of Krishna." This is the experience. As if he was never seen before. That is caused by anurag. Sadanubhutam apiyaha koryam nava priyam. Anurag means that love which is felt as new and new at every moment, and which makes the meeting with the beloved new and new at every moment. So when Radhika said this, then Brinda Devi turned to her and she said, "Yada yada pasati madhavam puras tata tadayavasya vadasya purvakam navaha sadasyatkim ayam tava tava ragunmade vismarta kimakshini." This is a great philosophical question that has never been answered. Brinda Devi said, "Oh Sakhi, every time you see Krishna, you always say, he looks like I've never seen him before. So I have this question. Is it Navasadasyatkim Ayam Tabatava? Is it that Krishna has become more beautiful than he was the last time you saw him? Or is it that your eyes, being blinded by love, forgot how beautiful he was the last time? Which one is it? Is Krishna more beautiful, or did your eyes forget? Who can say? No one knows. So when Radha and Krishna meet, this is so beautiful. At that time when Radhika sees Krishna, her heart is melting and she just wants to give herself fully to Krishna. Then the Lita Sakhi said, "What are you doing?" Radharani is about to faint in ecstasy when she sees him and she's getting all weak. But what's the use of that? Then you'll be just like Chandravali. Don't be so easily available. If you're so easily available, he'll take you for granted. So as Radhika is about to faint and just melt like butter and surrender herself to Krishna, then to uphold and increase the dignity and the value of Radhika in the eyes of Krishna, Lalita Sakhi is there. So Lalita Vishak, Jai Jai Radha Krishna Yugla Milan, Arati Korai Lalita Adi Sakhi Gan. Lalita is the main Sakhi. Among Radhika Sakhi, they say, Durtaya Brajanda Tanaye Tanu Shushtu Bamyam, Ma Dakshina Bava Kalankini Lagavaya, Radhe Giram Srini Hutami Tishikshantim, Devim Gunais Lalitam Namami. Hey, Sakhi, Kalankini, that means woman with a bad reputation. Hey Kalankini, he's a dirt. This Krishna is a cheat, he's a rust, this son of Nanda Maharaj. Doesn't want to say that word Krishna. Don't have this name in my mouth. This son of Nanda Maharaj. He's dirt, he's such a cheater. So don't be the submissive to him. Ma Dakshina Bhava. Why? Lagavaya. Because if you do, you become insignificant. Your status will go down. You should make him beg for you to meet with you. Make him wait. If you just automatically meet with him any time of the day and night, knock the door, come in, like that. That's the servant. But the master, you cannot even knock. His security is there. Who are you? So if you'll just accept him like that, your status will go down. So the Lalita is giving advice to Radhika in this way. So generally, people will think that Lalita is upset because Krishna's done something wrong. And she's telling Radhika, oh, he's done wrong. And so she's telling Radhika and making her angry. But even when Krishna did not do anything wrong, he's completely innocent. It's one rare occasion. He's completely innocent. And he's approaching Srimati Radhika. But because Radhika is fainting in ecstasy, seeing Krishna coming, then Lila has to change her mood by criticizing Krishna to make her snap out of the submissiveness. You understand? So it's not necessarily a criticism of Krishna that they did anything bad. It's to try to stop Radhika diminishing her own status by just melting in Krishna's arms. So then, being inspired with some anger, Lalita reminds her of some old grudge. You see? Right? Is that right? The men know that, right? If you did something like in 1972. Anyway, so Lalita will remind Radhika of some old grudge to snap her out of her melting mood. And then as Krishna's coming down the hill of Govardhan and sees Radhika, then Stule Radhikaya Payodir Yuge Hara Prasadi Krita Kyate Balataya Kachet Kutile Mole Vatirno Naya Vinyastam Suti Sevinurapi Masima Linyameva Itnakshto Dwam Irshaya Mergasha Shanke Mumutschar Javam. You know Sanskrit? You know Sanskrit? Oh, if you know Sanskrit, then this is poetry is so elegant, so beautiful. Krishna's coming down the hill and he sees Radhika. And at first he saw she was very simple and looking at him. And now, because of the inspiration of Lalita, she's all looking like this. And she's given up her simplicity and she's become crooked. So Krishna is saying, what is this? And he's using some poetic analogy. Let's say there are 3 people. And these 3 people come to one public event. So one of these persons, he's an adult, but he's a bit stulbuddhi. You know, he's a bit dense. Then another one is a child. No education at all, just a simple child. And then the other one is a great Pandit of all the Vedas. Great Pandit of all the Vedas. So they arrive at this public event. And that Pandit is thinking, yes, everyone will give respect and honor to me. So first of all, the person who is a simpleton, he arrives and he is received and they give him a beautiful garland of jewels. Pretty good. Pandit's thinking, pretty good. What are they going to give me? And then the child comes and they give the one jeweled ornament as a gift to the child. Then it's time for the Pandit's turn. And when the Pandit comes, they get some black soot and wipe it on his face. Then the Pandit becomes furious. Oh, what is this? I'm the respectable person. You respected these useless people and you have disrespected me. And then the Pandit becomes upset and angry. And he gives up his simplicity. So Krishna's thinking, as he's approaching Radhika, he said, look at this. Stule Radhikaya Payodar Yuge Hara Prasadi Krita. The breast of Srimati Radhika is stool. That means very firm, very dense. And the breast of Radhika has been honored by a beautiful jeweled necklace. The hair of Radhika, so here, this is the shlesh. Stool means though her breast is dense, like a dense person, but still the dense person, that means the breast of Radhika was honored with the jewel necklace. Then Bala Tayaka, her hair is called Bal. So Bal means like a child. Though her hair is Bal, but her hair has received the gift of a jeweled ornament on the top. But her eyes are like a Pandit. Why? Because a Pandit is Shruti Sevi. He has served the Vedas. And the eyes of Radhika, the Shruti Sevina, the Shruti also means the ears. The eyes of Radhika are so big and long and like lotus petals. And when she becomes in a crooked mood, then her eyes, they look moving like this here and there. And her blue eyes go all the way around to almost touching the ears. So the eyes of Radhika, Shruti Sevino, serving the ears. Or like a Pandit who serves the Vedas. You see, Krishna is such a kavi. Spontaneous poetry is coming. Why? Because when you're in love, then you can't speak properly. It just poetry comes out. Can I compare thee to a summer's day? Like that. So this poetry is flowing from the heart of Krishna spontaneously. Why? It's indication of the depths of the ocean of his love in his heart for Srimati Radhika. So Krishna sees the eyes, these are the Shruti Sevi. So like a pandit serving the Vedas, or serving the ears. But how have they been decorated? Black kajal. So because the eyes have been insulted by the smearing of black kajal, there's a saying, to make someone's face black. It means to disrespect or insult them. Because the eyes have been smeared in the black kajal, then, and now I'm afraid, Mamuch charge of them, they've given up their simplicity and now Radhika has become crooked. Very difficult thing. I have to move on. If it will, we have to go to the next and finish the song, right? So I cannot, otherwise I'll just speak all night about the first line. So there are many obstacles. Radhika becomes the contrary to Krishna when he's approaching. But finally, when the Anurag comes to the very high stage, then the crookedness becomes somewhat relaxed and she accepts Krishna, and now their pastimes will begin. So Jai Jai Radha Krishna Jugala Milan Arati Kare Lalita Di Sakigan, and the Lita Saki is offering arti. Now this is also a point we have to appreciate. In Vaidhi Bhakti we offer arti to the Supreme Lord because he's the Supreme Lord. Some persons think that we're offering these articles because there's earth, that is the fragrance, the incense, and there's fire, that is the deep, and there's water, and there's air with the fan. So because the Supreme Lord is the Lord of the whole universe, made of the 5 elements, so we're worshipping him with the 5 elements. Like this. Some people have this idea. You think Lalita has the idea when she offers arti? No. Why is she offering arti? She does not think Krishna is God or Radhika is God. They think that Lord Narayan is God and Radhika is Vrishabhanu Raj Kumari Juki Jai, very sweet teenage daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj. So why is Lalita offering arti? Because the meeting of Radha Krishna is very difficult. There are many obstacles. And so the offering of arti has a particular bhav. That means when the person is offering arti, then they're thinking, whatever obstacles and whatever difficulties are there in your life, oh Radhika, oh Sham Sundar, may all these difficulties come on my head and may you be happy. So with such love, Lalita Saki is offering arti to Radha and Krishna. Actually, without these Sakis, the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, they cannot go on. Viborapi sukha rupa swapakashopi bhava shanamapi nahi radha Krishna yo yarate swa pravahati rasa pushtim chid vibhuti ivesha srayatina padamasam kasakinam rasagya. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, see, Govinda Lilamriti is saying, what intelligent person would not take shelter of the Sakis, not Radha and Krishna? Take shelter of the Sakis. Why? Because even though Krishna is a Vibhu, that is unlimited and all-pervading, and even though his happiness is Swaprakash, it is self-manifest and eternal, but Kshanamapi nahi Radha Krishna yo yariteswar. Radha and Krishna, they cannot experience happiness even for 1 split second without the Sakis. Not possible. Radha can be there, Krishna can be there, but if the Sakis are not there, then actually even Radha and Krishna won't be together, because they're the ones who bring them together. But without the Sakis, there's no relishment of the Braja Lila. So, Rasa Pushtim Chid Vibhuti Ivesha. Just like in Vaikunta, Lord Narayan is present and he's surrounded by his mystic powers personified. Anima, Lagima, Mohima, Kama Vasayita. All the mystic powers are surrounding him in personified forms. So in the same way, these Sakis, They're not ordinary persons. They are the personified forms of the mystic powers of Radhika's Prem. These are the Sakhis. So what Rasik person would not take shelter of them? See, Ramananda Rai, he said, Madhyama Vayasa Sakis Kanda Karanyas Krishna Lila Manobriti Saki Ashapash. Do you understand the Manobriti or Chittabriti? Means in your mind there are movements, and those movements, the Chittabritis, they're essentially your thoughts. Every time you have a thought, it's a movement of pran in your chitta. So these Chittabritis are your thoughts. So here, Krishna Lila Manobriti Saki Ashapash. Imagine this. Every moment you're having so many thoughts. But what if each thought that you had manifested a form outside and was running around the room? How would that look? Can you imagine if each one of your thoughts manifested a form and was like moving around in the room right now? Yeah. But for Radhika, this is a fact. Krishna Lila Mano Briti Saki Ashapash. Ramananda Rai is saying that the main Manobritis, that means the 8 psychological tendencies of Srimati Radhika, have manifested murtis. And one is Lalita, Vishaka, Chitra, Tampaglata, and they're the Sakis. And their own Manobritis are running around here and there. And what are they doing? Saki bina e lila pushti nahi Saki lila vistariya Saki ashwadai. The pastimes of Radha Krishna come in waves of love. But the first wave comes in the Sakis. The first wave comes in the Sakis. Lalita and Vishaka are talking to each other and they think, oh, let's try to make Radhika meet with the son of Ananda Maharaj. So it's actually Radhika's innermost heart's desire, but it's manifest in the Sakhi Swarups. So then, just as a person can be thinking, making a plan, but she's not, her plan is coming outside and her Sakhis are getting together. What should we do? Shall we write a love letter? Should we send a message with someone? So in this way, the Sakhis get together, they talk to each other. The first wave of love appears in them. How can we make Radhika meet with Krishna? So then those Sakhis, they bring Radhika, Jai Jai Radha Krishna Yugalana, they bring them together to meet. And they speak to Radhika in such a way, now, oh, give up your man now and just meet with him. Be favorable towards him. Then Radhika becomes a little bit faithful. So the next wave of love comes in Radhika, that she becomes favorable towards Sri Krishna. She's ready to accept him. But then the next wave of love comes in Krishna, who's Upadravi. He's like, he makes the disturbance all the time. And then Krishna will do some mischief against Radhika, but like trying to tear her cloth. And then all the Sakhis, the fourth wave comes in the Sakhis, all the Sakhis will look at each other and disapprove. Oh, did you see what he did? Stop him. But actually, no, they're relishing. They're criticizing. They're trying to stop it. But actually, that's what they wanted to happen. That's what they wanted to happen. So like this, in the Lila, first wave of love comes in the Sakhis, then in Radhika, then in Krishna, and he becomes naughty, and then all the Sakhis, they relish this naughtiness. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad, he has written that Ramananda Rai told Mahaprabhu that Sakhi bina e lila pushti nahi. Without the Sakhis, the pastimes cannot be nourished. Pushti nahi Sakhi vistari. Sakhi vistari means the Sakhis expand the Lila. In other words, when one Lila ends, Radharani said, oh, I was playing in the water with Krishna and he defeated me in splashing. We went on the swing and he made the swing so high I had to hold on to him. I was afraid to fall off. He defeated me in that. Then he defeated me in Holy Lila. He keeps defeating me in all of these games because they're power games. Oh Vishaka, come up with an idea, a game that requires some brains so we can finally dispatch his pride. Because he's strong, but he's not so smart. Come up with a game that requires some intelligence. Then Vishaka will go and she'll bring the chaupar. She'll bring the board game for playing dice, because this is a tactic game. So now Radhika will be able to defeat Krishna and dispatch his pride. So like this, Vishaka comes with the idea, what's the next pastime? Lalita comes up with the idea, what's the next pastime? If the Sakhis see that Radha and Krishna have become tired, then they make them take rest. And when the Sakis see that they've rested, Durbai Sabha Shitilata Abhipuni Kelo Ai, then the Sakis comes, okay, now your tiredness has gone away, again play. So who's doing these pastimes? Actually, all the Lila of Radha Krishna is not the Lila of Radha Krishna, it's the Lila of the Sakis. It's the Sakis who make them meet, it's the Sakis who make them play, it's the Sakis who make them rest, and the Sakis who make them get up. It is the Lila of the love of the Sakis. So, Jai Jai Radha Krishna Yugala Milan Aroti Kore Lalitadi Sakigan Madana Mohana Rupa Tribanga Sunda Pitambara Siki Putscha Churamanoha. Madana Mohana Rup. Madan Mohan. What does he mean? Madan Mohan. He can bewilder even Cupid. Cupid is the god of love, shooting his arrows, making everyone become attached. But Krishna is so beautiful. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Not one Cupid, but 10 million Cupids, all faint, only sniffing the fragrance of Krishna from far away. Krishna is so beautiful. So is Madan Mohan. But Moha is actually one type of Sanchari Bhav. Moha is a type of Sanchari Bhav. Rupa Goswami described very beautifully what is Moha. Radharani said, Kim swapnasya bilakshana gatiriyam kim jagarasya tava kim ratte upasati eva rabasad anaha kimanayava ittam shamala chandrika parichaya spandena sandipiter antakshobha kula aham parvita pragyatam akyappavam. Radharani is saying, what happens when she sees Krishna? She said, oh Saki, when I see Krishna, no, not even seeing him, if I only see a painting of Krishna, then suddenly when I look at that painting, the sham color, like an indigo color, like a blue lotus color, the light of this dark moon. Moon is light, but this is Krishna Chandra is a dark moon. So the dark bluish rays of Krishna's beauty are emanating from him. And those rays like chandrikas, like moonbeams. Usually you're lucky if you can see one moonbeam. Come, and the chikora will jump up and swallow it. But it's like thousands and thousands of rare moonbeams of a sham complexion are coming from Krishna in waves. Waves of beauty are coming from him. And it's so dense. And when I'm touched by those waves of beauty, then I forget who I am. I cannot even understand. Kim swapnasya gatiriyam vilakshana kim jagarasya. I cannot understand whether I'm awake or whether I'm asleep. Radharani said, I don't know where I am. I don't know who I am. I don't know if I'm awake. I don't know if I'm asleep. Even being washed away by the waves of Krishna's beauty. This is moha. Darun mila nilutpala nibida tasya nibida biruddhanam sadyo karasparasija sparsha kutukat. Radharani said that, and then when I see his beauty and I become lost, I don't know if it's night or day, I don't know if I'm awake or I'm asleep, but I become overwhelmed with this intense curiosity. How will I feel if he touches me? And then I become in so much anxiety of curiosity. I cannot wait for him to touch me. That I become bewildered now. Kovaham kabaham chakarakimaham ba sakitagda. Then I don't know who I am. Am I the daughter-in-law of Jyotila? Or do I just exist for Krishna's enjoyment? Oh, I think I exist for Krishna's enjoyment. Where am I? She thinks, am I in the garden of my home and Krishna has come here and I have to make sure that my mother-in-law or anyone doesn't see me? Or am I standing on the street in a public place? Or am I inside a kunj somewhere. Radhika is having spurtis of different types of meeting with Krishna at the same time. And she can't decide which one of them is the real one that she's actually in right now. This is called moha. Moha. Chikara ke maham sakitada. And Radhika thinks, what did I do? And even though she hasn't met with him yet, because she's having the spurti of playing with him in so many ways, she thinks, did I meet with him already? How was I? Was I submissive to him, or was I contrary? Did I enjoy like a contrary heroine with him? I don't know. I can't remember. And she becomes stunned. This is called moha. So now Radha Krishna have met together. Lalita is offering arti. Madana mohana rupa tribanga sunda. Pitambara sikipitcha chura manoha. Krishna's pitambar, his flute, his tribanga form, his mano, it steals the mind. Radhika just looks at him, doesn't know if it's day or night. She doesn't know if she's awake or if she's dreaming. She doesn't know what she's done or what she hasn't done or who she is or where she is. This is called Madana Mohana Rupa. Lalita Madhava Bame Brishabhanu Kanna Nilavasana Gauri Rupa Gune Danya. Lalita on the left side of Lalit Madhav, there is Brishubhanu Kanya, the daughter of Brishubhanu Maharaj. Lalit Madhav means that this Madhav, this Krishna, he's dear Lalit Nayak. You know, Krishna, he has so many heroic moods. Rupa Goswami Pads described 96 different heroic moods of Krishna. And he described how many moods of the gopis? Of the Krishna's heroines? 360. See, more complicated. So Krishna has 96 heroic moods, and his beloveds have 360 different moods. So here, one mood of Krishna, one type of hero, is called the Dilalit Nayak. Vidagdo Navatarunya Parihasa Visharada. Nischintya Dhira Lalita Sa Praya Prayasi Vasha. It means that hero who's like Cupid, he's Vidagda, he's very artistic. He's expert in singing and dancing and decorating all types of arts. Vidagda Navatarunya, and he's not like a middle-aged person or even a fully adult person. He's just on the cusp. He's a youth. He's a fresh youth who's just completing his adolescence and about to enter into adult life, but not quite there yet. So he's Navatarunya. And Parihasha Visarada, who is very expert at joking. He is very funny. How is Krishna joking? Amen. Chanchan Meena Vilochan Asi Kramatut Kristas Tani Sangata Prodenas Purata Tavayam Adara Pralada Sambadana Madhyo So Balibandano Mukuruchara Mastava Nirjita Lebe Sri Ganatadya Manini Manasyangi Krita Kalkita. One time, Krishna came to meet with Radhika, but he was very, very late. He was so late. He was really in big trouble. Krishna was thinking, how can I have an excuse which is a plausible deniability? How can I have plausible deniability that this was not my fault that I'm late? Because actually he went to meet with Chandravali, that's why he was late. So he's thinking, how can I have Then he thought to himself, okay, we made a plan that we would meet together in the Kesha Kunj. So in Vrindavan, there's one place called Kesar Kunj. It's the Kunj of the Kesar flowers. Then Krishna thought to himself, but wait a minute, there's two types of Kesar. One is Bakul. Bakul is one type of Kesar, and that was where they arranged to meet. But there's another type of Kesar that is called Nag Kesar. Have you seen Nag Kesar? Once I was in Jagannath Puri with Gurudev in the garden, Jagannath Vallabh Bhattika in that garden, and we were going around and Gurudev was showing all the different flowers. Then he came to the Nag Kesar. He said, this is Nag Kesar. It's like long, like a snake. Sometimes gopis give to Krishna the flower, but the message is, you are like a snake. Krishna Gurudev was telling me this in the garden, Jagannath Ballabh Bhattika, many years ago. Acha, okay, now let's come back to Krishna's Leela. Only by Gurudev's mercy we can remember Krishna's Leela. So Krishna was thinking, how will I have plausible deniability here? We arranged to meet in the Kesha Kunj, but everyone knows it was the Bakul Kunj. But there's another place in Vrindavan, the Nag Kesha Kunj, and I'll say that we arranged to meet in the Kesha Kunj. Why were you not there? I was waiting for you the whole time. And I'll make out that they were confused and went to the wrong place, and I went to the right place. And I was waiting for Radhika and her Sakhis the whole night. So you see, because that's one type of psychology. If you want to become victorious, you always have to accuse your enemy of the thing that you're guilty of. Right? So Krishna, he came up with that plan, and he went to the Nagkesha Kunj, and he picked so many Nagkesha flowers. And then, at the end of the night, he shows up at Radhika's place, like that. And Lalita said, what is this? Now you have come. And just as Lalita is being very strong and about to chastise Krishna, Krishna's in the same mood. What is this? Whole night I was waiting for you. Why did you disappoint me? I decorated myself and everything. I had so many plans and you ruined them all. Why didn't you come? Krishna is very cunning. And here's the proof, you see, because I've got the Nagkesha flowers with, that's the proof that he was actually there. And just see, there's honey dripping from these Nagkesha flowers. These flowers are all crying out of pity for me, poor old me, sitting there the whole night, waiting alone. You see how even the flowers are crying. Look what you've done to me. Krishna is like this, very clever. So then Radhika sees that, Lalita sees that Krishna is tired and Radhika is tired, so at least they should have a chance to meet. So she tells Radhika, just be gentle and accept him, so at least you can meet with him. And then Krishna will come very humbly to Srimati Radhika, in a very humble mood. Then Lalita said, just see how humble he is. That proves he's guilty. How could he become humble all of a sudden, just like if he was so offended 1 minute ago? That's the proof that he's guilty. So then Lalita said to him, you are surprisingly very humble today, coming in a humble mood to serve Srimati Radhika. You know what that means? Psychologically, she's telling him, you know what that means? That means you're guilty. Then Krishna said, no. I'm always very, very submissive and in a mood of service to Radhika. What to speak of me serving Radhika? But all my avatars are constantly serving Srimati Radhika. He's just bragging. He's bragging to try to impress them. All my avatars are serving. Not that any Brijbasis think that Krishna is God, but Gargacharya said, Tasmanyan dat madoyam te narayana samogonai. Oh, hey Nanda Maharaj, at Krishna's name-giving ceremony, your son will have all qualities like Lord Narayan. So they know that because Nanda Maharaj worships Lord Narayan, that if there's a danger in Braj, sometimes Lord Narayan will enter into Krishna because of Nanda Maharaj's piety, his punya. And then through Krishna, Narayan will do something and then he'll leave. Anyway, Krishna takes advantage of this and he said, oh Radhika, all my avatars are serving you all the time. Chanchan meena vilochanasi. Matsya avatar is serving your beautiful eyes. Why? Because Radhika's eyes are very restless. You know, if they're fish swimming through the water, what do? They go. They quickly change direction. So Radhika's eyes are like that. So Matsya avatar is serving your two beautiful eyes. Kurma avatar in 2 incarnations is serving your chest. Kurma avatar is serving your chest. Krodena spurita tavayam. He is using a shlesh alankar, that one word can mean 2 things. Kroda can mean boar, Barahadev. And Kroda means the side of the body above the hips where it goes in. Like that. So because Radhika is a very sumadhyama, very slender waist, he says, so Krodena is serving Krodena. Barahadev is glorifying you because your Kroda, your indentation, is so beautiful. And not only that, but Adhara Pralada Sambadana. Your lips are Pralada Sambardana. That means increasing joy. But Pralada Sambhadana means increasing the joy of Prahlad. That means Lord Nrsingadev. So Lord Nrsingadev is serving your lips. This is the Shlesh. When two words, two words are the same, but they have embraced, and you think it's one word, but it's two, because they're Shlesh. They've embraced each other, but two meanings are there. Oh, not only that. Madhyo so Balibandano. Balibandhan means Lord Vamandev, because he bound Bali Maharaj. But Balibandhan means when the girl becomes mature and becomes very beautiful, then 3 lines appear on the belly. He said, so the Lord Vamandev is Balibandhan, so Balibandhan is serving you also. And Mukarucha Ramas, and the shining of your face. Oh, is served by, here, Ramaha is a plural. It means all your beauty is served by all beautiful women. That means you are more beautiful than any beautiful women. But Rama in the plural can mean 3 types of Ram. Balaram, Parishuram, and the Dasarati Ram. So there's another 3 incarnations only in that one poem, part of the poem there. Lebe Shri Ganatadya. And your Shri, your beauty is Gana. It's condensed. Your beauty is so condensed. But there's one name of Buddha, he's called Sri Gana. So taking Sri, your beauty is Gana condensed, and with the Shabda Slash, Sri Gana means Buddha. So Buddha is serving your beauty. And Manini Manasi Krita Kalkita means, and now you have become in man, you are being contrary to me, so your mind, Manasi Kalkita, it has become polluted with anger towards me. So here, your mind, Kalkita means polluted by man, but your mind is served by Kalki, like that. So Krishna is saying, in this way, all my avatars are serving you. So this is example how Krishna is dear Lalit Nayak. He's young, he's artistic, he's expert at making jokes, and he's nischinta, he has not a care in the world, because he never did a day's work in his life. His parents, they spoil him, they never make him do anything. Even he doesn't have to take the cows to graze in the forest. Nanda Maharaj has so many servants to do that. But Krishna, he begged, oh, I am a gop, I have to do my dharma. But the real reason is that these cows, they're his ticket to meet with Radharani. That's why Krishna worships the cows. He does go puja. He recites the go shukta. Why? Okay. He bows down to the cows. Oh, go mata, my pranam. And he washes the feet of the cows. Why? Because you're my ticket to get, my excuse, bahana, to get out of the house and going to the forest. And then I can go to meet with Radharani. So Krishna loves cows. Prayasi Vashaha, and the Dilalit Nayak is controlled by the love of his heroine. So Lalita Madhav, that Krishna who has all of these qualities, Bame on his left side, Brishabhanu Kanya, the daughter of Brishabhanu Maharaj is there, Nila Vasana Gauri Rupe Gune Dhanya, and all of her qualities, her good fortune, it is incomparable. Oh, I cannot go on too long. I try to finish the song. If we go into the Radhika's Rupa Gune Danya, Gaurange Mradima Smite Madhurima Netranchale Dragima. 10 sweetnesses in the body of Radhika. The softness of her skin, the length of her eyes, the slenderness of her waist, the slowness of her gait. The redness of her lips, the jadata, the stunnedness of her heart when she sees Krishna become stunned and she's about to faint. All these sweetnesses are there in Radhika, they're incomparable. So Lalita Madhava Bhame Brishabhanu Kanya Nila Vasana Gauri Rupe Gune Danya Nana Vida Alanka Kari Jalamal Hari Mano Bimohana Badana Ujwal. Nana Vida Alanka. Radhika is decorated with various types of alankars. So this is very dear to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because being Kamala Manjari, so the Manjaris are actually decorating Radhika with all the ornaments, all the jewels, all the cosmetics. There is the Dwadash Abharan, 12 types of golden ornaments, and Sodasha Shringa, 16 types of cosmetic decorations. And so the maidservants of Radhika, they have decorated Radhika with so many alankars, ornaments, but not only the physical alankars, but also bhav alankars. When the manjaris, Radha Krishna meet, then the manjaris are singing. Lalita and Vishaka are singing. And through their songs are beautiful poetry, and that poetry is full of alankars as well. So the poetry is full of alankars. Radhika is decorated with alankars. When she hears the poetry, she becomes decorated with bhav alankars, with ornaments of ecstatic moods. And they bring Radhika to meet with Krishna. Now she's decorated. Krishna becomes her alankar. That is called Purusha Bhushan. The heroine is not fully decorated until she's decorated by the ornament of her beloved. So Purusha Bhushana Dehi Dasyam. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is said. So Nana Vida Alankar Kodi Jalamal. All the ornaments of Radhika, whether they're her actual ornaments of jewels or her bhav alankars, being decorated with ecstatic sentiments, they're all Kodi Jalamal, they are sparkling. So just as we discussed how Krishna's beauty is coming in waves, so Radhika's beauty is coming in waves. Koli Dalama Hari Mano Vimohana Badana Ujwal. And when Krishna sees Radhika and the waves of her beauty, Laharo Laharo Sri Shamajuki. The waves of Radhika's beauty, they are Nana Vida Alankar Kori Jalama Hari Mana Vimohana. Now Krishna is becoming bewildered by Radhika. First we spoke about Krishna's Madan Mohan. Radhika is bewildered. Now Krishna is becoming bewildered by the waves of beauty of Radhika. What a wonderful poem Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written. And we sing this every evening after the Gora Arti. But without the association of Rasik Vaishnavas, we cannot sink into the nectar of the Kirtans. This is why this Braj Rasik Vaishnav Sangha is essential. So we can sink into the nectar of these Kirtans. Now Krishna is being bewildered by the beauty of Radhika. When Krishna sees Radhika, he said, Asakrid Asakrid Eita Eisha Ka Chamatkara Vidya Mama Rasalahari Bistashamantastanoti Viditamahasayam Vyarita Pangalila Madhurima Paribaha Kapi Kalyana Vapi. Krishna looks at Radhika and now he becomes stunned. He said, Asakrit Asakrit Eish Ka Chamatkara Vidya. What is this? What am I looking at? He cannot recognize, even not to speak of who it is, he cannot even understand what it is. It's so beautiful. Radhika is so beautiful. And his anurag is so intense, he cannot even understand, what am I looking at? He says, Ka Chamatkara Vidya. Is this some kind of Chamatkara Vidya? Vidya means science, and Chamatkar means amazement or astounding. What is this? Is this the physical embodiment of the science of amazement? Chamatkara Vidya. Who is this girl? She knows some Chamatkara Vidya. She knows some magic, the science of amazement, because I'm amazed. And you know what's amazing? Mama Rasa Laharibi, waves of rasa are coming. Tarshamantastanoti, but my thirst is increasing. Yeah. Say you're thirsty, and some waves of the very delicious, the nectar comes, mango lassi. You're hungry and thirsty, and the waves of mango lassi. So you drink one wave, you drink another, and then you feel like your thirst is gone. But Krishna is saying, what is this science of amazement that waves of beauty are coming from Radhika, and with each wave that I feel, my thirst is increasing. The thirst isn't going down, the thirst is increasing with each wave of beauty that I experience when I look at Radhika. When you look at Radhika, did you experience that? Then that's not darshan. This is darshan. This is darshan. So then Krishna is trying to decide what it is. He says, Viditamaha. Oh, I know what it is. Aha, 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 aha. It's a Sanskrit word, aha, aha. Viditamaha asayam. I know what it is. This is, you know what kalyan is? Kalyan means auspiciousness. Let's say ordinary person, especially in this Kali Yuga, prayena alpa ayasha savya kalavasmin yugeja manda sumataya manda bhagya upadurta. Everyone has bad luck in Kali Yuga. Inauspicious life, always disturbed, one problem after another. But if a jiva meets with a Vaishnava, their life is transformed. Auspiciousness comes. Shubhada, auspiciousness in the life. Kleshagni, all the miseries go away. And life just becomes magical and wonderful, and every moment is better than the next. This is Kalyan. So Krishna is saying, oh, now I understand what this is. I can see before me a lake of Kalyan. So we tend to think of Kalyan, what's auspicious for us. Krishna is auspicious for us. But Krishna sees Radhika and thinks, I don't know what this is or who this is or what this Chamatkara Vidya is. But, oh, now I understand. This is one lake of Kalyan. I can feel now my whole life is becoming auspicious. Now, if there's a lake, there can be some rivers, some rivulets emanating from that lake. He's saying that this lake of auspiciousness I see before me is overflowing. And the streams of auspiciousness are overflowing in the form of her glances every time she looks at me. So every time Radhika looks at me, that Kalyan, auspiciousness, comes and makes my life more and more beautiful and special. So this is Harivana Mano Vimohana Badana Ujwal. The face of Radhika is shining and stealing the heart of Krishna. He does not know who I am, where I am, but he decides, oh, this is a lake of auspiciousness overflowing with sweetness in the form of her glance. Oh. Harimano Vimohana Badana Vishakadi Saki Ganana Rage Gai Priya Narma Saki Jata Chamuradulai. So then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that's Kamala Manjari, is beholding this beautiful scene in Vrindavan. Yeah. Well, last few days, I made a plan what I was going to say in the class. It was a very organized lecture. But today, I just sat down and I just say whatever's coming in my mind. So forgive me if there's any mistake. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, now Radha Krishna have met. What happened? Vishaka di Saki gan nana rage gai. Vishaka Saki, of all the Sakis, she's the one who is expert in singing in various ragas. And these ragas, they express different emotions. And her voice is sweeter than the voice of a cuckoo bird. And she's the Shiksha Guru of all the manjaris in singing. Shri Vishakapade Sangita Shikibo Krishna Lila Rasamoyo. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, when will that day come that Vishaka will take me on one side and teach me how to sing about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, so that later when Radha and Krishna meet, then Krishna will say to Radhika, oh, I saw how you Sakis sing and dance in the Rasa Lila, but what about your Manjaris? Can they sing? So then Radhika looks towards Vishaka, and Vishaka said, I have a candidate. Then Vishaka will call one Manjari and say, you remember that song I told you? Yes, now's your chance, go. And then that young Manjari will come in front of Radha Krishna and then sing the song that she learned from Vishaka. And this song describes the love of Krishna for Radhika. And when Radhika hears it, her heart is melting. And the song describes the love of Radhika for Krishna. And when Krishna hears the song, his heart is melting. And both are melting with joy. And at the end of the song, then Radha Krishna feel as if they actually were living, directly experiencing that pastime that was described in the song. Even though they were tired after Rasa Lila, they're tired, they cannot move. So they're sitting down. But again, they were full of life and enjoying pastimes through that song. So then Radhika calls that Manjari and takes off her necklace with a locket and gives it as a paritoshik, as a reward to that manjari. And Krishna also takes off a necklace and gives a prasadi necklace to that manjari. And Vishaka is standing on the side and her heart is swelling with pride. Oh, my student did so good. Huh? These are the feelings in the meeting of Radha Krishna. So Vishakari Saki Gana Naragege. Vishaka Saki is the leader of the singing in all ragas. Priyanama Saki Jata Chamaradulai. Priyanama, here Priyanama Saki means manjaris. Actually, there's some confusion over this, but let me clear it. And don't doubt me. I don't tell anything unless it's in Shastra. Priyanama Saki means the manjaris. So the manjaris are fanning with chamars. Beautiful service. What does it mean? In the chamar, there are thousands of fine hairs. So when the manjari is waving the chamar and fanning, she's fanning Radhika in such a way that the fragrance of Radhika will go into the nose of Krishna. And she's fanning and she's thinking, oh, in your body, you know, you have the Shushumna Nadi and the Ida and Pingala, and you have 72,000 other nadis. They're like fine hairs. So the manjari is thinking, all the hairs in this chama, these are my 72,000 nadis. And the pran is moving through the nadis. So with all the pran in my 72,000 nadis, I am serving Radha and Krishna. This is the mood of fanning. Oh, another mood, very important. You know that once there was one impostor named Paundrak Vasudev. He had 2 extra model arms attached to his body and advertised, I am the real Vasudev. That person in Dwarka is fake. I am the real Vasudev. And he sent a message to Krishna. Look, you have to give up the insignia of the emperor. Only the emperor can have a white umbrella above his head and be fanned with a white chamar. Others can have this is the sign of the emperor, the topmost person. These are the insignia of the supreme, the authority, the most royal person. And so this fanning of Radhika with the chamar indicates this. Because once all the cowherd boys got together in the village of Chatra. Have you been? Chatra. Now it's called Chatra. If you go on Brajmandal Parikrama. Oh, that reminds me. Everyone please come to Vrindavan and join me for 1 month Brajmandal Parikrama in Anandam Vrindavan. And we'll go to all of these places. In the village of the Chatra, there, the actual Sanskrit name is Chatravan, where Madhu Mangal, he held the umbrella over the head of Krishna and announced, Krishna is the emperor of Vrindavan. And they did a Raj Abhishek for Krishna to make Krishna emperor. So then all the Sakis, because where there's love, there's a competition, a Sparda, Prema Pratiyogita, love competition. So then all the Sakis said, no, what is he doing? We'll establish our Radhika as the queen of Vrindavan. So in the village of Umrao, it's near Kadirvan, in the village of Umrao, then the Sakis did the Raj Abhishek of Radhika and announced that she is Vrindavanishri. She is the unrivaled, undisputed emperor of Vrindavan. So in Braj, you know, there's a tradition among the Brijbasi farmers that at the end of the summer season is so intense and everyone's waiting for the rain to come. So if it rains first in Umrao, if the first rain falls on Umrao, then the farmers take that as a Shubha Lakshan, auspicious sign that the crop will be very successful this year. But if the first rain falls in Chatravan, where Krishna was, then they take that, oh, the crop will fail, we'll have problems this year. This is the village customs in Vraja. So that's not written anywhere in Shastra, but it's the mamata that they have. So Raghunath Das Goswami said you should have attachment for the residents of the Dham, of other Sampradayas and the Brahmins of the Dham. Gro Goste Gostale Susude Busuragane. So where are we? Yes, we're talking about the bhava of Chatra. So when the manjaris are taking the Chatras and fanning Radhika, this is the insignia of the empress. And so they're filled with the abhiman. Radhikar dasi jadi hoy abhiman, Shigra malai tav gokulakan. If anyone has a they're very proud to think, I am the dasi of Radhika, because Radhika is so great. And fanning with the chamara. She is the empress of Vrindavan. She's Vrindavana Chakravartini. Eh? Chakra means wheel, and Vart means the center around which everything rotates. So Radhika is called Vrindavana Chakravartini. Radhika is the central point in Vraja, and everything, including Krishna, is all rotating around my Radhika. That's the meaning of fanning. Priyanama Sakki Jatta Chamaradula Yua Vrindavana Chakravartini. Siradama Dava Pada Sarasija Ashe Bhakti Vinoda Saki Pare Suke Bashe. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, always aspiring for the lotus feet of Radha and Madhav. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is sinking. Vasa actually means floating. It means floating in the ocean of happiness at the feet of the Sakhis. So that means he is experiencing the nectar of the Manjari Bhav. Because the Manjari serve Radhika, but under the guidance of the Sakhis. That's why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung, Sakhi Kanamama Paramasurit Yugala Premera Guru. Lalita, Vishaka, and those Sakhis, Asta Sakhis, they are my gurus in the matter of serving Radha and Krishna. They have all the arts, they have all the skills, they have all the talents. But when Radha and Krishna meet together in a very private place, because they're the same age, they have to make themselves scarce. They have to go and sit under a tree on the bank of Jamuna and just talk to each other. And so, even though they have the skills, they can't use those skills in Radha Krishna's service at the time of their very confidential meeting. And therefore, the Sakhis impart their arts and talents and skills to the Manjaris. So at the time when they can't be present, the Manjaris can be present to serve Radha and Krishna there. So that relation with the Sakhis is very important. And this position of Radha Dasyam, this is the special gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Samarpaiton unnata ujjvala rasam swabhakti sriyam. The beauty of the bhav of Radhika, that is the Palya Dasi bhav, Radha Dasyam, the mood of her maid servants. This position to be the maid servant of Srimati Radhika, it is indescribable. No one can describe it. Swasamud swarabolibo chalatalaya mukamon thodi so eri lage jesuk samujai kon. Braj Bhasha. This is Braj Bhasha. Swasamuj means that the Manjaris are so close to Srimati Radhika that they can understand what she wants only by watching her breathing. They're observing, they're very observant, and by her breathing they can understand what she wants. Chalata nayana mukamon. That means, and they're very silent, they're not speaking. They speak with their eyes. If one Manjari sees, so is the breath of Radhika, how it's moving, and then she knows what she wants. Then she'll tell the other Manjari just by her eyes without speaking. Swara bolibo. And if she will speak, then her words come out like swara. We are speaking now, but it's not musical. But when the Manjari speak, it comes out in swara. Like music. Tori so eri lagoi, Jesuk samajai kon. They are so close to Radhika that when Radhika is sitting, they sit at the feet. And the heel of Radhika is touching the chin. And if Radhika needs it, just moves her foot like this. And then that Manjari will go and bring. So, Yesuk samajai kon. Who can imagine the happiness that the maidservants of Radhika feel? One Sakhi, she said, Sprishati adima kundo Radhika tatsakinam bhavati vapusi kampa sweda romanta baspam adaramadumadasyat chetpibati sayatnad bhavati batatadasam matatak chitrametat. The meaning is this. This poem has the asangati alankar. Asangati alankar means two things are happening, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. What are the two things that are happening? Sprishati yadi makundo. Krishna touches Radhika. But when he touches Radhika, then bhavati vapusi kampa, the manjaris are trembling. The manjari's hairs are standing. Krishna touches Radhika, but the manjari's hairs are standing on end. Tears are coming in the eyes of the manjaris, and they're having ecstatic symptoms. So this is asangati alanka. This is amazing. And when Krishna relishes the nectar of Radhika's lips, then all the manjaris, they become completely intoxicated. They may faint, even. Pranayamayavayasya kunjarandrapitakshi shititalamanu patanti pratirata-bheda-dhano chastitaek chitre smaranibirta nikunje Radhika Krishna Chandro. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad said that when the maidservants of Radhika, they come just outside the kunj and they apply their eyes to the gawaksh. That means the lattice windows. And they put their eye against the lattice window and they peer inside and they see Radha and Krishna playing together there. Then at that time, they become so overwhelmed with waves of ecstasy that they faint and fall to the ground. So there's just the kunj, and outside all these manjaris unconscious on the ground from ecstasy. So how fortunate they are. Even Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, he said, Radha Nagara Keli Sagara Nimagna Lidrasham Yatsukam Nota Lesha Lavayate Nota Lesha Lavayate Bhagavata Sarvopi Sokyutsavaha Tatra Sha Yadikasya Chin Nirupamam Praptasya Bhagyasriyam Sri Brindavana Namni Damni Parameswi Yam Vapur Nasyatu. Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur is saying that Radha Nagar, that means the lover of Radhika. He's Radha Nagar, the lover of Radhika, Sri Krishna. Keli Sagara, his pastimes with Radhika are like an ocean. Keli Sagara. Nimagnali Drishayatsukam. And the maidservants of Radhika, they immerse their eyes in that ocean of Radha Krishna's loving pastimes. And when they immerse their eyes in the meeting of Radha and Krishna, no tal lesha lavayate bhagavata sarvopi sokyutsava. Sokyutsava means that Krishna has made a lot of arrangements for his own happiness. He has his dham, he has his associates, his pastimes, he has so many incarnations. He comes to this world, not only this world, in millions of universes, and he appears in millions of universes and have pastimes in all the millions of universes. So Krishna has made so many arrangements for enjoying the happiness. But Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur said that all of the arrangements of the Supreme Lord for his own happiness cannot equal even one lesh or one atom of the ocean of happiness experienced by the eyes of the manjaris. Digest. They are so very, very fortunate. And so Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in reference to this, he's saying, Sri Radha Madhava Pada Sarasija Ashe Bhakti Vinoda Saki Pade Suke Bashe. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in the form of Kamala Manjari, is floating in that endless ocean of happiness, compared to which even Krishna's all happiness in all universes is not even one drop. Hare Krishna. What can we say? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Sisi Radha Shama Sundar Ju ki jai. Bale Vrindavan Bihari Lala ki jai. Varasani Wali ki jai. Jai Jai Sri Radhe Sham. Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bo. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.